Hello everyone. We are exploring and investigating a small portion of a photo taken on Sol 1438. We have returned to the Murray Buttes in Low Mount Sharp, the same buttes where I found the ziggurats and the submarine. Here you can see the original raw image and my polished and enhanced image. This photo contains so many pieces of evidence of a Mars civilization that makes it impossible to discard as mere imagination or pareidolia. The facts are here in front of our eyes. Everything here, that to a casual and bored viewer seems just rocks, is instead pieces of what once was standing here. As you will see in some close-up that I made, some of these pieces are undeniable parts of a structure or artifacts. If you look at the entire picture, you can see that pieces of walls and parts of a structure are still clearly visible. For NASA, these are just rock formations, nothing exceptional or particular. If you read the scientific description of this place, it's just a boring mambo-jumbo of big scientific words. However, without using too much imagination or fantasy, we can see that the whole area is a big debris field of collapsed walls, shattered artifacts, and pieces of what once were statues or carved images. Also, melted and twisted metal is among this rubble. Pieces of the collapsed buildings are toppled on top each other and buried by the sand. This photo is worth to be analyzed closely and carefully investigate every single piece. In one particular spot, a small carved figure is still attached to the wall with also tubular objects around it. In my previous two videos, I tried to show what I believe happened to Mars thousands of years ago. I am convinced that the theory of Mars being struck by a catastrophic event, either natural or artificial, it's true and very likely. This massive destructive event wiped out an entire Mars civilization and destroyed most of the life that existed on the planet, and brought the planet to the present state, void of an atmosphere, and with a very harsh environment that cannot allow life, as we intend, to exist. Unless something survived and adapted to the new environment, perhaps underground. Let's now move to examine these pieces of evidence a little closer. As you will see, I have left no stone unturned, so to speak. Everything you will see here will be available on my Facebook group, Mars Unveiled. If you would like to join us, in the description of this video you will find the link to do so. These rubbles are not natural. Anyone can see that they were all part of the same object or structure. Pieces of a carefully levigated material are still attached to what probably was a wall. What kind of building used to be here? I have seen similar rubbles in ancient archaeological sites, here on Earth, places like Pompeii or other sites. Most of these pieces also reminds me shattered pottery. Definitely, this entire photo and the debris in it deserve a very deep and close analysis. What I see here, it's a clear proof of an obliterated Martian civilization. I have no doubts that NASA scientists have already analyzed this photo, and I am sure they know exactly what happened and what is waiting for us on Mars. One more quick look at this part of this photo. Unless someone has a good and logical explanation of what we are seeing here, for me, these are elements and remains of a structure with artifacts. Let us look at some of the smaller pieces on the ground. As we dig among these rubbles, and look with attention, we see that most of these scattered pieces were at one point all part of the same object or structure. I like to believe that some belong to a carved figure. As you see, I have highlighted some of these more obvious pieces. We can see a stone that has the shape of a shoe. Some square stones, carved as they were part of a pedestal, and then a partial face of a most likely the head of a statue. But, as you see, there are many other odd stones, scattered around. Another one seems something that could have been a trumpet. The most intriguing one for me, perhaps because the way it's carved and the apparent very smooth finish, reminds me of wings or something similar. What is your opinion? Write it in the comments below. We are now about to research another section of what probably was one continuous wall of a structure. As the previous one, here too we can see scattered debris all over around, and many other features that remember walls of a building, and remains of some type of architecture, perhaps different from ours. So, let us now look at some of these evidence a little closer. This section shows immediately something that according to NASA should not exist on Mars, because Mars has been dead for 4 billions of years. So, who built and then placed this animal statue on this wall? The shape of this object is unmistakable. We can see a head, a body, and legs of horse type of animal. It is just my imagination? What do you see? What is this curved tubular object attached to this wall? It is very obvious that this object is not natural. It is a manufactured artifact made by the people who lived here thousands of years ago. The close proximity to the carved horse makes it logical to believe that it is part of a representational artifact placed on this wall, and, with the rest of the artifacts around, it leaves no much room to speculations on the nature of these artifacts. Even among these smaller pieces laying on this little slope, there are signs that they belong to something else more complex. We can see pieces that seem to be made by metal that has been twisted. I see some pieces with carving on it, and other pieces or parts of some mechanical device. What is your opinion? As we continue to examine this debris, it seems obvious that they are not just random rocks, scattered by Mars winds or other natural phenomena. Each piece, or rock, as someone may think, has very precise shape and textures, almost like pieces of a puzzle. Like this one, it is a rock, or a flattened and melted object. If we did not know that this was Mars, just looking at this crumbled wall, and all the debris on it and around, we would think that we were looking either at an archaeological site, or at an area torn by war. It's almost impossible to count all the debris that we see here. They are of all kinds, metal, stones and other materials that perhaps have fossilized throughout the millennia. Perhaps there are also fossilized or mummified corpses among these rubbles. You can draw your own conclusions. For viewing these images, you can pause this video and examine it for yourself, or you can join my Facebook group and view or download them at your own time and convenience. The link to the group is down below in the description of this video. Thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe to this channel for future notifications of my new videos.